Business model innovation skills, the key to success in an era of turbulence. In a rapidly changing market where technology evolves every single day and customer demands constantly shift, a business model that succeeds today may become obsolete tomorrow. That is why business model innovation skills are no longer a choice, but a matter of survival for every enterprise. Innovation is not merely about improving products. It is about transforming the entire way a business creates, delivers, and captures value. Understanding core value and target customers. In the journey of business model innovation, the most important step is not about finding the latest technology, nor about raising massive amounts of capital, but about understanding the customer, truly knowing what they need, what they want, and what they are willing to pay for. Many people fail not because they lack ideas, but because they delude themselves into thinking their product is great, while customers hardly care. That is a slap to the pride of anyone who has ever thought, "I know it all. Customers should follow me." A wise entrepreneur always asks, what core value am I delivering to my customers? What pain am I solving for them that no one else has addressed? If you cannot answer these questions honestly, then every attempt at innovation is nothing more than decoration on the surface. Success does not belong to the one with the most beautiful product, but to the one who makes customers feel deeply. Without you, I would lose something important in my life. Reality has proven that many businesses, once thought incapable of competing, suddenly surged ahead because they looked deeply into the psychology of customers. Instead of simply selling a product, they sold convenience, security, or the feeling of being understood. An insurance company does not just sell policies, it sells the peace of mind that when risks happen, your family still has a safety net. A coffee shop does not just sell drinks, it sells a space where young people find connection and self-expression. The true value does not lie in the product itself, but in the experience the business model delivers. Now ask yourself honestly, if your business disappeared tomorrow, would your customers genuinely miss it? If the answer is no, then that is the strongest wake-up call, that your business model has not yet provided enough value, and you must innovate immediately. This strikes directly at your pride. A business should not exist merely to make money, but to prove my presence makes a difference. Business model innovation begins with honesty, with the courage to admit that the customers do not buy from you because your product is cheap, but because it is meaningful. Once you truly grasp that core value, every change that follows, whether in technology, sales methods, or operations, will rest on a solid foundation. If you find these insights meaningful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss upcoming content. Your support is the greatest motivation to continue sharing even deeper values. Flexible thinking, and the courage to break away from old paths. There is a truth few people want to admit. Most businesses do not fail because they are not good enough, but because they have become too good within an old framework. They cling tightly to what once brought them success, treating it as an eternal guideline. And then, when the market changes, they suddenly realize that what used to be their strength has now turned into a burden. In the world of business, the most dangerous thing is not failure. It is repeated success that robs us of flexibility. If we look deeply into life, we will see one rule: nothing lasts forever. Today may be filled with sunshine, but tomorrow clouds may roll in. A product that is celebrated today may become obsolete in just a year. A marketing strategy that once brought booming revenue may be abandoned by customers in the blink of an eye. The market, like a river, never stops flowing. And a business that wants to survive cannot remain still like a rock in the middle of the current. It must be flexible. It must renew its mindset. It must accept breaking away from old paths. This is not easy. Every one of us is inclined to seek safety, to cling to what is familiar. A cafe owner who has sold the same drinks for decades will find it difficult to admit that customers' tastes have changed. A company that grew large on a direct sales model will not easily accept shifting toward e-commerce. A leader who has always been in control of every operational detail will find it hard to entrust that control to technology or to the younger generation. Yet, flexibility is the only choice if one wishes to endure. Consider this: if once famous brands like Nokia or Kodak had been willing to listen to the signals of the market, willing to break free from old molds to experiment with new directions, perhaps they would not have slipped so deeply into failure. Their stubbornness, the belief that we were number one, therefore we will always be number one, was the double-edged sword that destroyed them. Meanwhile, young companies that dared to experiment, dared to fail, dared to admit that the old model was no longer suitable, those are the ones that rose and took the lead. Flexible thinking does not mean changing constantly in a blind or reckless way. It means keeping an open mind, staying observant, listening carefully, and most importantly, being willing to experiment. A new idea may fail, but at least it teaches us something. A new strategy may not bring immediate results, but it opens up fresh perspectives that eventually reveal the right path. A flexible person does not fear failure. They only fear standing still. In business, sometimes innovation is not about creating an entirely different product, but about changing how we perceive the problem. A restaurant does not necessarily need to invent new dishes, but simply adopting new ways of service, such as online table reservations or seamless delivery integration, can already attract more customers. A manufacturing business may not change its production line, but by shifting to a subscription model, offering products with periodic maintenance included, it can generate stable, long-term revenue streams. If we approach this with empathy for the difficulties of leaders, we will see that innovation requires courage. Courage to admit that what we once believed may no longer fit. Courage to place a bet on a future that is uncertain. Courage to take a step forward when the road ahead is not yet clear. But it is precisely in that courage that true strength is found. Because if we only do what is familiar, we will only ever achieve familiar results. It is only by daring to step out of the comfort zone that we touch achievements we never imagined. Some leaders have shared that the hardest moment in their careers was not when their company was losing money, but when it was doing well, and they still had to change their business model. Changing while successful is the greatest challenge. It is like standing on a sturdy boat, but still daring to jump onto a brand new vessel just being launched. Everyone fears, everyone hesitates. But if you do not jump, when the storm comes, the old boat will sink, and you will have no chance left. This reminds us that innovating a business model is not just a strategic action, it is an act of pride. A business with pride will not accept following old paths simply out of fear of change. A leader with pride will not allow themselves to become someone left behind by the times. They know that flexibility is proof of intelligence, resilience, and the will to endure. The market today is full of stories of breakthroughs thanks to flexible thinking. A small company can become a unicorn in just a few years because they dared to try what big players were afraid of. An ordinary brand can step onto the global stage because they dared to change the way they connect with customers. Conversely, there are also countless giants forced to withdraw bitterly because they refuse to break their old patterns. And you, if you are reading this, perhaps you too are standing before a choice: to continue down the old path or to open yourself to new experiments. The difference lies in your own attitude. Do you dare to admit that the market does not need you simply because you were once successful, but because you can adapt? Do you dare to face the truth that what you call stability is nothing more than an illusion in a world that is constantly changing? And do you have the courage to say to yourself, I am ready to learn again from scratch, ready to change, ready to step away from old patterns? Business model innovation at its essence is not a matter of tools or techniques. It is a story of people, of mindset, of attitude, of the willingness to live differently. Those with flexible thinking will treat the market as a problem that constantly evolves, and they are excited to solve it. The stubborn will treat the market as a fixed problem, and they only repeat the old answers. When the market shifts, only one of these types will remain in the race. So if you want your business not only to survive, but to rise above, begin by cultivating business model innovation skills, starting with your mindset. Train yourself to ask, is there another way? What if we tried differently? If we ignored what we already know and started from zero, how would we design our model? These questions will open doors to new paths and new possibilities that you may have never seen before. Leveraging technology as a catalyst for business model innovation. If business model innovation is a journey, then technology is the vessel that allows companies to sail across turbulent markets and reach farther horizons. It is no coincidence that the world's greatest corporations are inseparable from milestones in technological progress. Technology has always been the key unlocking new doors, where the way we create and exchange value is redefined every single day. What is striking is that in the past, small businesses were often limited by resources: low capital, small teams, narrow local markets. But today, technology has blurred these boundaries. A single individual can launch a global startup with nothing more than a laptop and an internet connection. A small brand can build a powerful presence on social media, competing head-to-head with global giants for customers' attention. Technology has turned what used to be a playground only for the big players into a more level battlefield, where creativity and adaptability determine who wins. A mirror that reflects customer needs. In traditional business, understanding customers often relied on experience and intuition. A shop owner might guess what loyal patrons liked after a few conversations. But today, data provides more accurate and deeper answers. Every click, every search, every transaction becomes a clue revealing consumer behavior. An e-commerce platform can analyze millions of data points to personalize product recommendations for each individual shopper. A small retail store can track which items sell the most, when promotions work best, and which customers are most likely to return. The truth is, technology has given businesses a new pair of eyes to see clearly what once was only guesswork. As a result, business models are no longer built on instinct, but on evidence. Technology, a bridge without borders. One of technology's greatest gifts is its ability to break geographic limits. In the past, a shop could only sell to customers in the neighborhood. Now, it can reach customers across continents. An artisan in a small village can showcase handcrafted products on global e-commerce platforms and sell to customers in Paris or New York. A yoga instructor in Hanoi can teach students in London through a live stream session. Technology opens the door to global markets that once were only accessible to large corporations. More importantly, it empowers small businesses with a genuine chance to compete. Business models, therefore, must evolve, from serving local communities to reaching wider audiences, from the mindset of selling nearby to the ambition of conquering the world. Technology, a tool for operational efficiency. No business can achieve sustainable growth if operations are clumsy and inefficient. This has been the downfall of many companies during expansion. But technology is changing the game completely. Today, artificial intelligence can forecast demand, enabling more accurate production planning. Supply chain management software helps reduce inventory and streamline logistics. Chatbots and automated customer service systems can handle thousands of requests while costing far less than hiring large teams. A startup with just a handful of members can operate as smoothly as a big corporation thanks to smart digital tools. What matters most is that when technology takes over repetitive tasks, people are freed to focus on higher value work, creativity, strategy, and building relationships. In other words, technology does not replace humans. It elevates them to a new role in the growth journey. Technology is not the destination. However, in this wave of technological disruption, many businesses fall into the trap of chasing trends and forgetting the foundation: customer needs. They pour resources into blockchain, artificial intelligence, or the metaverse simply out of fear of being left behind, without truly understanding why they need it. The result? Wasted money, complex business models, and little added value for customers. It must be remembered, technology only proves its worth when it solves a specific problem. A ride-hailing app succeeds not because it has advanced algorithms, but because it addresses real needs. Customers want fast bookings and transparent prices. Drivers want extra income and fair treatment. An online learning platform stands out not for its sleek interface, but because it helps students save time, not study anywhere, and afford education. The lesson is this: do not ask, what is new about this technology? Instead, ask, how can this technology help me serve my customers better? Technology, a test of leadership mindset. In many ways, a company's attitude toward technology reflects its leadership's mindset. The conservative leader often views technology with suspicion. Machines will take people's jobs, or this tool is too complex, we don't need it. Meanwhile, the flexible leader sees opportunity. If technology can do it better, why not let it help us? Or, if customers enjoy this convenience, why not adopt it? Technology, in this sense, becomes a test of courage and adaptability. It forces leaders to make a choice, to embrace it and move forward, or to hesitate and be left behind. Technology, the foundation of an innovation culture. A truly innovative company does not adopt technology once and stop there. They embed it into their organizational culture. Employees are encouraged to suggest digital solutions, to experiment, and to learn from mistakes. When technology becomes part of a company's DNA, innovation is no longer a slogan. It becomes daily practice. Companies with this culture are not afraid to experiment with what has never been done. They are willing to dedicate resources to research and trials, even when results are uncertain. Yet it is precisely this persistence that keeps them ready, and when the right moment comes, they are the first to seize it. Diversifying revenue streams, the secret to a sustainable business model. When people talk about a company's success, most immediately think of huge revenues or rapidly growing profits. But few stop to ask, where does that revenue come from, and is it sustainable? Behind impressive numbers often lies a fragile reality. The entire lifeline of the business depends on a single source of income. The moment the market shifts, the product falls out of favor, or a competitor launches a better solution, the company plunges into crisis. This is why the skill of diversifying revenue streams has become a crucial pillar of business model innovation. The mindset of not putting all your eggs in one basket. In everyday life, everyone knows that putting all your assets into one single investment channel is extremely risky. The same applies to business. A company that sells only one product is like a farmer who plants only one crop. When that crop fails, everything collapses. In contrast, a farmer who practices intercropping not only reduces risk, but also uses land and labor more effectively. Diversifying revenue is the wisdom of expanding the lifelines of a business. It is not simply about selling additional products. It can mean changing the way money is made, from outright sales to rentals, from one-time fees to recurring subscriptions, from direct transactions to offering value-added services. The subscription model, from one-time sales to long-term relationships. One of the clearest examples of innovation is the shift from one-off sales to the subscription model. In the past, customers bought software by paying a lump sum. But companies like Microsoft and Adobe changed the game. Instead of selling products, they sell access, monthly or yearly subscriptions. Customers benefit from constant updates and lower upfront costs, while businesses secure predictable, recurring revenue. This mindset is no longer limited to tech companies. Today, we can subscribe to cars, to daily coffee deliveries, even to fashion clothing rentals that change with trends. The subscription model has become a powerful way for businesses to diversify revenue and build lasting relationships with customers. Revenue from value-added services. Sometimes, the main product is only the gateway to other opportunities. A smartphone brand earns not just from selling devices, but also from extended warranties, apps on its platform, and cloud storage services. An airline profits not only from tickets, but also from checked baggage fees, in-flight meals, and priority seating. These extras, when combined, become significant revenue streams that reduce dependency on a single channel. More importantly, they enrich the customer experience. Instead of offering only the basic product, businesses provide a sense of being fully taken care of. Revenue from sharing resources. Another form of business model innovation is monetizing existing resources to create additional income. An office building can rent out workspaces after hours. A company with a large database can sell access rights to third parties. A firm with a strong distribution network can serve as a logistics partner for smaller businesses. Here, revenue does not come from creating something new, but from unlocking hidden value in existing assets. This is how many corporations transform themselves into ecosystems, where different business segments nourish and support each other, creating a continuous flow of value. Revenue diversification as a story of flexibility. What's interesting is that diversifying revenue not only helps businesses make more money, but also demonstrates adaptability. When COVID-19 struck, many restaurants in Vietnam were forced to close because they relied solely on dine-in customers. Yet some quickly pivoted to online sales, partnered with food delivery apps, and even launched virtual cooking classes. That flexibility saved them from collapse. An artist doesn't earn just from performances, but also from YouTube channels, music licensing, and brand endorsements. A school doesn't rely only on tuition, but generates income from short courses, consulting services, and partnerships with businesses. Those who diversify revenue streams stand firm during crises, while those who depend on a single source are easily swept away. The challenges of diversification. Of course, diversifying revenue streams is not simple. Without a clear strategy, businesses can fall into the trap of overextending, spreading resources too thin, and ending up weak in every channel. The challenge is to strike a balance, to expand while preserving core quality. The key is to always ask, does this new revenue source truly align with the value we aim to deliver to our customers? If the answer is yes, it's a wise step. If it's just copying what others are doing, the company risks losing direction. Diversification as a lesson in survival. Looking at global corporations offers clear lessons. Amazon is no longer just a bookstore. It is now an empire of e-commerce, cloud computing, and streaming entertainment. Apple is not just about iPhones. It has the App Store, iCloud, Apple Music, and other services that generate stable revenue alongside hardware. In Vietnam, large conglomerates also do not limit themselves to a single industry, from real estate. They have expanded into retail, finance, tourism, and technology. They all understand one principle. A business can endure only when it has multiple streams feeding it. Like a river, if it depends on a single source, it dries up in drought. But if nourished by many tributaries, it flows endlessly. Building ecosystems and strategic partnerships. In today's world, no business can rely solely on its own internal resources to go far. No matter how strong, a company's resources are always limited. Capital is not endless, human resources cannot do everything, and technology cannot develop perfectly overnight. More importantly, modern customers no longer look for a single product. They seek a complete ecosystem, a seamless experience where all their needs are met. This is why building ecosystems and forming strategic partnerships has become a key skill in business model innovation. It is not simply about shaking hands to do business together. It is about cultivating a mindset of connection, creating a network of value where each party complements the other, enabling everyone to survive and thrive. Ecosystems, the win-win model. Look at how major tech companies like Google, Apple, and Amazon have grown. They don't just sell a product, they build entire ecosystems. Apple offers iPhones, iPads, and MacBooks tied to the App Store, iCloud, and Apple Music. Google offers Gmail, YouTube, Google Maps, and Android. Amazon is not just e-commerce, but also AWS, Prime Video, and Kindle. Once customers step into these ecosystems, it is difficult for them to leave because every need is already integrated and fulfilled. This shows the power of ecosystems. They retain customers not through one product alone, but through the seamless experience that the entire network provides. Partnerships, the key to expanding value. Of course, not every business can build a massive ecosystem like Apple or Google, but even small businesses can expand their strength through strategic partnerships. A fashion brand can collaborate with a logistics company to optimize delivery. A cafe can partner with a beverage ordering app to reach younger customers. A tech startup can partner with a large corporation to leverage its distribution system. Each partnership is like a puzzle piece, and when many pieces connect, the business model becomes richer and more resilient. The power of synergy. The most remarkable benefit of strategic partnerships is synergy. 1 + 1 is no longer 2, but 3, 5, or even more. When an electric vehicle company partners with a clean energy provider, they don't just sell cars, they sell an entire green mobility experience. When a technology firm collaborates with a bank, they don't just offer software, they deliver secure and convenient payment solutions. In such relationships, each party leverages its own strengths to complement the other. Businesses are no longer isolated players in the market. They become part of a broader network where risks are shared and benefits are multiplied. The challenges of collaboration. However, partnerships are not always easy. In reality, many alliances have collapsed due to lack of trust unclear goals, or short-term self-interest. Strategic collaboration requires transparency, long-term commitment, and a shared vision. Most importantly, businesses need to learn to give before they receive. A sustainable partnership can only exist when all parties feel respected and believe that benefits are shared fairly. It is not just about contracts, it is about ethics and business culture. When collaboration becomes competitive advantage, in the context of global competition, collaboration is no longer optional. It is a survival advantage. A smart startup that forms the right partnerships can quickly rise to compete with giants. On the other hand, a large but insular company that insists on doing everything alone may become slow and be left behind. Markets today are increasingly complex. Customers don't just want cheap products. They also want convenience, speed, environmental friendliness, and good after-sales service. No single company can deliver it all. Only by connecting into networks can businesses provide customers with a truly comprehensive experience. Ecosystems, the foundation for business model innovation. Building ecosystems and forming strategic partnerships at their core are about broadening perspective. Instead of asking only, "What can I sell?" businesses begin to ask, "What does the customer need in the bigger picture? And who can I partner with to serve them better?" This is when business model innovation reaches a higher level. It is no longer about just changing products or sales methods, but about transforming the entire structure of value, from isolation to connection, from pure competition to collaborative growth. When this happens, businesses not only gain more revenue, but also greater strength, adaptability, and opportunities to expand into the future. Bringing it all together, business model innovation as the key to endurance. Business model innovation, when viewed in its entirety, is not simply an option for companies wishing to refresh themselves, but an unavoidable requirement for survival and growth. The world today moves at an unprecedented pace, where an idea can become a global trend within months, and a business model once celebrated as a success story can quickly become outdated. In this whirlwind of change, only those companies that truly embrace the spirit of innovation can remain steady and move forward. Innovation begins with understanding core value and customers, because without truly knowing what customers need and are willing to pay for, every change is meaningless. A business model only has real vitality when it makes customers feel connected, when they recognize that the company's presence delivers something essential to their lives. Customers are the center, and understanding them is the foundation for any journey of innovation. Innovation also demands from leaders a flexible mindset, a willingness to abandon outdated patterns, and the courage to step out of the comfort zone. Success from the past can sometimes be the greatest obstacle to future progress, creating the illusion that what worked yesterday will continue to work today. But markets never stand still. Customers never keep the same needs, and competitors never stop moving. Without flexibility, a business clinging to old models will inevitably be phased out. In contrast, those who are willing to experiment, to accept failure, and to learn again from the ground up will find new paths where success is no longer about luck, but about the ability to adapt and grow. Technology is one of the most important levers of innovation. It does not merely help businesses optimize processes, cut costs, and increase efficiency, but also opens opportunities never before possible to reach customers and build new experiences. From big data, artificial intelligence, blockchain, to cloud computing, all provide the power to see customers more clearly, to cross geographic boundaries, and to design business models that are smarter and more adaptable. Yet technology is not the ultimate purpose. It only matters when it solves real problems, when it creates genuine value for customers, rather than being adopted just to chase trends. A sustainable business model must also diversify its revenue streams. Any company that relies on a single source of income is like a river fed by only one spring, easily dried up in a drought. Conversely, a company that draws from multiple streams, subscriptions, value-added services, monetizing existing assets, builds a stronger foundation. Diversification not only increases profits, but more importantly, creates long-term stability, allowing the organization to withstand crises and volatility. Another vital element of business model innovation is the spirit of cooperation and building ecosystems. No single business can meet all of the increasingly complex needs of modern customers. Only by partnering with others, sharing resources, and combining strengths can companies create comprehensive experiences and expand value for their customers. Power today does not lie with isolated entities, but with networks and ecosystems where different players grow and survive together. All of these factors, customer understanding, flexible thinking, technological leverage, diversified revenues, and cooperative spirit, are not separate but interconnected, like 5 pieces completing a single picture. Business model innovation is not a series of isolated actions, but a holistic mindset, a systemic approach. When these elements come together in harmony, the business gains both the shield to protect itself against sudden shocks and the sword to carve out new opportunities in the future. More than anything, innovation is a journey of pride and aspiration. A business with pride will not accept being left behind simply out of fear of change. A leader with aspiration will not be content with mere survival, but will always strive to make the organization a pioneer. This spirit ensures that a company does not merely endure, but thrives in a world of constant transformation. The essential truth is that innovation has no finish line. It is not a project with a start and end date, but a continuous journey, a cycle without pause. Today we innovate to adapt, tomorrow we innovate to break through. With every stage, the business learns, matures, and moves closer to the dream of enduring success. If you found these insights valuable, please don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so we can continue this journey of spreading deeper and more practical ideas together.